Please welcome Laurens Waling.
Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and ich spreche ein klein bisschen Deutsch, aber nicht enough, so I will go on in English. I'm from the Netherlands. Our company is based in Venlo, on the border of the Netherlands and Germany. And yeah, we have some clients in Germany. Most of our clients are currently in the Netherlands. It looks like the Netherlands is a little bit more ahead in terms of skills-based organizing, but maybe I'm wrong. Might be proven. So I'm speaking for the company Advance, and yeah, I'm also often speaking as a keynote speaker on skills-based organizing. Skills-based organizing is one trend, AI is the other trend, and I think where the two trends meet, this becomes really interesting. How to use AI to organize differently, how we have to organize differently because there is AI, and yeah, it makes me really enthusiastic to meet where the two waves of the two trends meet. So this is where you can find me, definitely on LinkedIn. I share a lot of blogs about both AI and skills-based organizing. So innovation, transformation of HR, if that's your thing, you're probably here then, please follow me. You can also send me a DM after the presentation, and I will send you the presentation on LinkedIn or by email if you want to. Okay, to get started, I'm speaking on behalf of the company Advance. Advance has a booth right over there. You can speak to my colleagues. We have 65 people, and Advance is since 2012 working on developing our own algorithms. So that's over 12 years of experience in creating algorithms to predict the right match between the candidate and the job, between the employee and the project, or any talent and work match that we are talking about. How can you predict the success of such a match? That's where we are trying to develop that's where we have at the moment over 55 different algorithms in place to do that. And we have built a talent mobility platform on top of these algorithms. And you can either use our engine for skills predictions, for matching predictions, to do matching and connect with your own HR systems, or to our platform, or use the talent mobility platform as it currently is. It is an app yourself. So some companies use the whole platform, some companies use parts of the functionality that I will demonstrate you. For instance, in the Netherlands, we work for the Dutch government. In the Netherlands, it's called UWV, the Bundesarbeid, or something like that, for unemployed Dutch people. Bundesamt. And so 500,000 unemployed Dutch people, they need to have a register in order to get the unemployment benefits at our service. And with this service, we provide them with the skill set. So based on a resume, we provide them with the skill set that they probably have. And we provide all the vacancies that come out every day. In the Netherlands, it's just like 30,000, 40,000 new vacancies every day with new skills. And we match on those skills, giving new indications of new possibilities. So, for instance, last year we were doing a project for the Ministry of Defense, for the Army. We're looking for drone pilots. Where can you find drone pilots? Well, the skills that are required to become a drone pilot are actually quite similar as the skills the forklift driver has. So the forklift driver, with the spatial insights and the handling of the machines and the safety instructions and stuff like that, is actually quite a good candidate to become a drone pilot. But most people did not think of it before. And that is how AI is able to help you find new paths for candidates, find new career opportunities, and find new candidates. And that's what I'm enthusiastic about. I want to tell you a little bit more about that. First, to stress out, why are we talking about skills-based organizing? And I guess everybody heard a little bit about it, of course, skills, right? When I talk about skills, I talk about hard skills, soft skills, knowledge fields, competences, everything that belongs to that. I just call it skills. And we are talking about skills because the traditional way of looking at functions and organizing work in roles is not sufficient anymore. Work is changing so fast. So here are a few questions you can ask the people. Does your job truly define what you're doing? If you look at somebody else with the same job, is he doing the same things? What if work is changing? Work is changing all the time. Does the job title still reflect the job? And quite often that's not the case. Work is changing so fast that we need another way, we need another system to organize. And that's where we drill down into skills and skills-based organizing. Here's a report from Deloitte, quite some interesting figures about that. But one of the things it says that 71% of the people say, I'm already doing work outside of my job title. It's a bit too small to read here, but that's why I sent this and the skills later. There's lots of research done on the skills-based organization, on how we currently, our skills are actually the solution to organize in a more different, more fluent way, and still have some model predicting, who's going to do what job, actually. So, skills-based first organizations, according to all this literature, are more agile. They perform better. They are actually nicer to work in, so happier people. And it's also more fair if you match on skills. Less discrimination, less bias. So there is lots of benefits of becoming a skills-based organization. And it's not just becoming a wall-swing skills-based organization. It's also something you can just readily move into and start doing more and more and more. It's basically all the time you have the question, who's gonna do this work? And you have that question probably yourself as well. If you look at your own to-do list and you think, okay, am I going to start doing this, or do I look back and say, who can I delegate this task to? Maybe there's somebody else who can do this. And if you look at this distribution of work that's being done all day with tasks, projects, roles, anything, if at that point you ask yourself, maybe there's somebody else more, better at doing this, that's already where skills-based organizing starts. And the simple way of already achieving and experiencing the benefits of this is if you are a manager of a team and there is work to do, you just write down the work on whatever flip over or on a Kanban board or whatever you use to distribute the work, and just leave open for a while who's going to do the job. So instead of you as a manager deciding, he's going to do that job because he's in communication and he's going to do that job, leave it open for a while and let people themselves choose the tasks they want to work on. Sometimes I ask a group, prioritize your tasks for this week in the tasks that you want to go on, that you can get energy from, and the tasks that drain your energy, tasks on the bottom of your list. And just share the tasks that drain your energy with your peers around you. And quite often, if you do that in a workshop, people say, oh, I will take your task. It doesn't cost me that much energy. Actually, I like to do that. And you just exchange a few tasks, and with the same number of people, you just relieve a lot of new energy because you redistributed all these tasks. And that's where skills-based organizing starts. You can actually start really simple in your own team. Now, what if you would use an app for that, where you register all this work and roles and stuff that needs to be done, where you register the talents and the skills and what everybody wants to do and what they like to work on, and then you have AI helping you to suggest matches. Then you can start doing this over teams, with whole departments, with whole companies, with companies together, shared ecosystems, talent sharing systems. There's lots of possibilities to make a better use of all the talent available around you. And that's where skills-based organizing starts. And this is really, really something going on for years, but most urgent at the moment, where we have this new AI developments coming in, and every day you read about new jobs disappearing and AI becoming more intelligent. So work is going to change dramatically everywhere you look. If you look at the impact AI has on work, it's not just going to take over processes, it's also going to help how we're going to do it. It's going to help in distributing work. It's going to help in cutting down work in smaller pieces. There are so many ways that AI is helping to become super worker. I've experienced it myself. Since I use AI, I feel as productive as a whole team. So AI is so fundamentally transforming the way we work. And it's also what you see if you read the papers about this. All of these large consultancy firms and everybody's warning, there's so much work disappearing. It's changing. So the average number out of all of this is like 40%, 44% of the skills that we currently require for jobs will change in the coming 5 years. Work is going to be organized differently. And that's where you need a system to redistribute and rethink who's going to do what. And that's where AI is going to play a huge role. Where data is going to play a huge role. I would love to show you a little graph. This is a graph of all kinds of 1,000 different jobs and the links between the jobs. This is being made after an analysis of 85 million public found resumes. We anonymized them, no GDPR issues. But we looked at the correlations between education and jobs, and if people move from job to job, from 85 million people. And then we just ask AI, to make little lines where people actually step over from job to job. So you see there are jobs out there in the field around it where there's people doing that job all their life, and there's lots of jobs in the middle. They're all connected to each other. People transfer from one job to another job. If you look on all these resumes. There's also a little island in there from jobs that are connected with each other, but not with the rest of the world. Who knows what island is that? An island of jobs where you step over to each other, but not to the rest of the world. People, this is the HR island. So the people that are advocates from the talent mobility, data actually proves that we become from HR business partner, recruiter, maybe HR manager, or a business administration, but you stay on the HI island. HR is actually a Hotel California in terms of data, where you just stay into. So just be aware of that. HR might sometimes be a little bit not ahead in terms of innovation, so to say. So there's lots of data that you can use to load this new skill-based model. That's what I want to talk about. So we're moving from a traditionally job function title-based model to a new skill-based oriented model. More fluid. And skills-based organizations actually perform much better if you believe all these consultancy reports on all of these fields. I just mentioned them. What is actually the reason to start? The difference, of course, for every organization. But I would think there is one main reason that actually should touch everyone. I mean, it's a waste of talent. If I speak around, if I look around, if I talk to friends, if I sit in the train and look around, what I see is talented people. But who can say, my talent is being used in my job? Who fits this job role? Usually there's lots of extra talent not being used in a job role. Usually there's tasks being asked in a job role that these people might not have the right talent for. So if you look a bit differently and not look at boxes for function types, but make a little bit like puzzle pieces and a little bit extra talent there, a little bit less maybe there. You start job crafting, job carving, thinking differently about how we organize work, how we organize people, to make a better use of people. And I think this is a huge, interesting starting point for everyone. As a company, let's make better use of all of this unused talents. There is bore-outs, there's also burnouts. What if we combine this burnout people, take out some tasks, put them to the bored-out people, start reorganizing. There is so much better ways we can use all of these talents. And of course, also externally, there are still many people not working or having a distance to the labor market, where this AI and the skills-based matching technology can help actually also to help them make their talents work. This is a model we developed after analyzing these 85 million resumes and also looking at 55 million job descriptions, vacancies that we found online, many data points. And we were just looking at the correlation between skills. So here you see 15,000 skills and how they correlate to each other. If you zoom in, you see, for instance, IT skills. And what is the chance that if you have a certain skill, that you also have the other skills? There are synonyms in there, skills that are actually quite related to each other. I mean, if you're good at presenting, you're probably also good at communicating, maybe probably good at a little bit social. So skills that are related with each other, and skills that are actually far away from each other. And you need a model like this if you want to go into skills-based organizing, supported with AI tooling. Otherwise, you might be looking for a writer, and you say, I'm a blogger, and traditional software cannot link the two to each other. Right? Actually, it might be really interesting for you to show to each other, because we know those skills are related with each other. So we use a model like this underneath in the AI engine to translate every job. For 60,000 jobs, we know already the 200 skills that are required for this job to people. So if you have a resume, we upload a resume, or we read your LinkedIn profile if you allow us to. And we take the data and we know, okay, for this person, this education, this job, this job, this job, this is the skill set. A job a little bit more in the history, then a little bit less, or a little bit longer in a job, a little bit more skills. So we allocate statistically with AI the skills to profiles and to jobs. So we can start calculating the skills gap between the profile and the job. That's what we want to know, because the one with the smallest skills gap is the most interesting candidate, of course. And from the candidate perspective, you can use the technology to find the most interesting job. Usually in the implementation, we start with the function framework. We just take the function framework from an organization, we add all the skills automatically, we take a few profiles, and we look if there's people are actually doing the job that is closest to them, or if it might be another job quite close there. Or if the job is disappearing, what other jobs come up. So using this technology, with data from the company, but also just with public data, we can do very interesting talent intelligence insights. One of the interesting stuff we can also do is predicting outcomes of assessments, personality tests, characters, drivers, how you call those. So what we did a few tests with the largest or test, how you call those personality tests, and we were able to predict the outcomes of the test quite often, giving a CV. And if you did one test, we can predict the outcomes of other tests. Meaning that we can do predictions quite accurate of the personality, the average personality in a certain company. And now we can start using these models for cultural fit. Because here, for instance, a company, this is ABN AMRO, one of the large Dutch banks, have a typical type of people. Here is competition and freedom, and here is a more holistic way of thinking, and they have a typically type of personality in there. So if you want to look for a cultural match, that's why I should be matched with people that have the same drivers there, or if I want to break that culture, of course, a match with people that have other drivers there. Let's dive a little bit more into the gap analysis, because that is really interesting, not just for finding the one with the smallest gap, but also for upskilling and reskilling, and finding education to bridge that gap. And that can be done on an individual level. You can just use our app, upload your resume, you can connect with LinkedIn, and then find, enter your dream job, for instance, and then see the skills gap between you and your dream job. Next is connecting it with education. And that's something we're currently having already in beta. We are trying to translate the current educations, the largest ones, we're also moving to the smaller ones, translate that into skills. What skills can you learn with what education? So if you connect with your learning management system, for instance, we take the content, we skill it, we add all the skills there, and then you can actually have an employee create an account, put in the destination job, see the skills gap, and link it with the required learning content. And now it becomes really interesting, because now we have the basics for a career navigation system. Probably used Google Maps or something to get here. Even though you know the way, it's still interesting to get update information and stuff like that. The labor market is dynamic. Even the best job coaches don't know all the possibilities. So we need something as well, like a career navigation system, like a Google Maps, both for internal in your company and for external. And with this model, we have the basics to develop such a model. If you are currently running an HR team, this is what you should do. Determine the current skills in your organization. Using this technology, you can identify the skills for current people based on data in your HR system, based on maybe LinkedIn data, based on assessment data, many sources. We translate that into default factors, and we can do a very quick identification of the skills that you currently have and the skills that you currently require. And this, I said, require skills first. It's also very easy. We look at your vacancies. So we just go to your vacancy website of your company. We look at the vacancies there. We see what skills are required. If you add a little trend reports and stuff like that of the organization where it's going to with the sector, you get you get a good idea of the skills that are probably required for this organization at the moment and in the future. So then having the required skills and having the skills that are currently there, you automatically have the skills gap between those. And that's the interesting information for all of your HR decisions. It's actually, if you want to make your HR a little bit more data-driven, this is something you can do quite easily and have far better decisions on both individual level and collective level. What kind of collaborations do we need with educations? What kind of skills should we hire for the future? What kind of upskilling, reskilling programs do we need? All kinds of HR decisions are based on a more data-driven model. Okay, so this is what we currently take into account with a match, but that can be lots of more. We take into account soft skills, we take into account hard skills, we take into account somebody's ambition, and we take, of course, the traditional factors of having the experience and having the education in place as well. But when matching, you can play around a little bit and saying, I want to put more emphasis on the one and less emphasis on the other. So sometimes the pool is empty, and you need to look more for skills. Sometimes you want to do a more traditional match. That's up to you. If you want to look for career opportunities, it's the same thing. More traditionally or more new opportunities. Let me give you an example what we can do with this technology. For the airport in Amsterdam, Schiphol Airport, we did a project analyzing over 75,000 people working there. Those 75,000 people do not work in one organization. They work in over 1,000 different organizations. But because they all have the security pass system, they have a system where it's registered what role, what function they have. So we took out 1,800 functions, looked for all of these 1,800 functions up in our taxonomy with our AI. What are the skills required for these functions? And then map the functions onto each other to see what if you currently are a baggage coordinator, what are the different other roles you can do at the airport. So if you have a population of heavy work, with a lot of sickness, leave, what are other sources that you can probably get these people to, where you can move them to? They're now saying you can do this work only for a few months, and then we put you into some other job that is related to make it more attractive to come do that work. And this is the basics for many other policy decisions, not working just for one organization, but also working for the whole airport. Seeing other stuff you can do. The truck drivers, for instance, they could also become drivers for buses or private drivers. The security guards could also work as a hotel doorman. We made 1,800 of these different combinations, offering new career paths for people, making it more attractive to work at the airport. Allowing for instance, after 4 years, they have to do find new companies to do certain jobs, and then there's always this fall. But now they can actually hold these people better and make them work for the airport. Okay, let me skip this slide in terms of time. I have a few questions for you. But before I ask these questions, this is a simple list. If you want to go into skills-based organizing, do not believe all of these large consultancy firms with their huge plans, all of these project plans that you should be doing. They all say, make your skills language first, create your vision, make your infrastructure. No, you can just start far smaller with these kind of apps, with this kind of approach as I just said. Skills-based organizing is actually an attitude. It's actually something you can apply to smaller teams, and you can actually start experiencing yourself. And then, of course, you can grow it and make it into a huge shift. But you do not have to start making it as big in the beginning as possible. I would say also start bottom up. I have a few questions for you in the audience. See where you are related to the others. So please scan this QR code, and we're going to do a few Mentimeter questions. And if you're not able to scan the QR code, you can also go manually, go to menti.com and enter this code. Yes, did it work? Then I will go to the first question. See the last phones. Thank you. Just some quick questions. What are the type of organizations we have in the audience? How many employees? Okay, some large ones, some smaller ones, nicely spread, perfectly, thanks. Wow, we already have 80 people joining this. Quickly, the names of the organization that we know a little bit, what kind of organizations are here? Just a short version of the name or the type of the organization. And thank you for coming up. Many nicely spread audience, many different sectors. Thank you. And what is your role? Is everybody from HR? What is the role in HR or other roles here? Is the role on the HR island or something else? What is your current role? Thank you. What are the most urgent HR challenges at the moment? Why did you come here? What do you want to get the solution for today? What's the pain? But also, is this HR challenge an organizational challenge? And is skills-based organizing solution for this challenge? Thanks, I will not go through all of this, but it's always very interesting. I do lots of these talks and I share the insights out of all of these talks on LinkedIn. What do you think? Do you have the right mindset for skills-based organizing? Yes, we already applied it. We're exploring it. No, oh, sorry, it's a nay, it's Dutch. Partly exploring, not the right mindset. Okay, but start small, as I said, with team. Do you think you must lead as an employee on this subject, on skills-based organizing? Is this important for you as an organization to lead, to find talent, to attrain talent, to maintain talent? Nice, everybody wants to be a front runner. Cool. Is HR responsible for skills-based organizing? What do you think? Most people think it's a shared responsibility. Some people think, oh wait, the last one was supposed to be a different answer. So it's not a share. The line should be, the management should be in the driver's seat. Sorry for that. Are you investing in skills-based organizing? Absolutely. Among others, no, we don't. Interesting, right? Everybody's talking about it, but only 10% is absolutely investing in this. I would love to talk to the ones who are investing in it, of course. Something else, but I think it's quite correlated. How is the adoption of AI in HR? Are you an innovator? Or are you exploring it, experimenting it? Only 2% can say they've fully integrated it. Thanks a lot. And is agile organizing a responsibility of HR? Being more agile as an organization. Partly. Nice, thank you. So, as I would like to come to a conclusion, I think you can start this change. You can even start within the HR department yourself. Starting to organize based on skills, as an attitude. Introducing technology, using AI to help you. You can use Gen AI to ask also for skills. But Gen AI will give you different skills every time you ask for. So a reduced model is more difficult to make than you need specific AI like we developed at Advance. That AI is able to predict skills on a robust way and do skills calculations in such a way that you can actually explain it to people. Why do you have the skills? Why are you being rejected? And that's becoming a huge issue under the AI law. It's of course high risk category to do matching. So you need to be explainable. You cannot use any Gen AI model to say, well, this is a good match. Those models are biased. There is a lawsuit now against Workday in the United States for this. They're just rejecting people based on some AI model that's not explainable. So that's where you need specific AI to explain why is this a good match, to explain why are the skills there, probably, and why are the skills required. You can just start with this. I would skip these two questions for now, but I will go to my dream. My dream is that everybody has this career navigation system. Even though you might think you have the best job in the world, it might disappear, and actually quite some HR roles, I think, are at risk, looking at this AI coming up. But what if you have always on your navigation system saying, hey, there is this other task, or this job, or this project, or you could work with this person. There's this education. If you do that, it will bring you closer to your dream job. So my dream is for everybody to have such a career navigation system. And my question to you is, do you dare to jump? This is a picture of me skydiving. One of the most thrilling things I did in my life, of course. But after doing that, I felt like, wow, I can do everything now. Do you dare to jump into this? So, if you want these slides, you can just leave your email address in here. They will not show up in the screen, and then I will send them to you afterwards. You can also of course, send me a LinkedIn invite and I will send you the slides afterwards. I would love to talk to you at our booth or just come here afterwards. My mission was to give you a little bit of inspiration on skills-based organizing, how AI can help you with that. And I'm looking forward to hear your challenges in this. Thank you a lot for listening and see if there are any questions.
Thank you very much
Thank you.
for giving us a short link into this topic. Really, really interesting. Are there any open questions? I have also chocolate.
Yeah, here's the question on the first row. Yes.
Like, to my understanding, you use job advertisements to analyze the skill database. Is a way to, or can you support in a way to understand the skills an organization needs for specific jobs on a long-term approach? Like, what skills, how is the job changing? What skills do we need in 3-4 years from now on?
Yeah.
Is this something you're looking into, or?
Definitely. Skills trends are very interesting. We have been doing this now for 10 years. So been scraping just the internet, seeing how skills appear, how they disappear, looking at trends in history. But of course, we also want to know for the future, what are the trends? Or what skills become more important or less important? If you have a certain skill set, what else can you do? So we use a lot of data, predictions, reports to predict if a skill is going to be more or less needed in the future, and what other options are there for people with those skills. So on a specific level for a specific company, we'd like to dive into what information you have about the future of your organization and about the trends and, for instance, the vacancies that you already know for now, and your strategic workforce planning, of course, links in this. So what are the expectations for your organization? And if you do strategic workforce planning based on skills, it gives new opportunities. Not just thinking we have so many people for this role and we need so many people for that role, but who can we reskill for the roles and the skills that we need in the future. So I would like to dive into this for your organization, for instance, and see what data we have to do these predictions more accurate. But it's definitely something we're offering as well in the software and the solution. Yeah. Thanks.